Moving forward.
Right now, a future president could be running as a local candidate on your ballot. This person is vying to represent you, your family, and your community. Do you know what they are and what they stand for? Vote411.org is your tool for accurate and unbiased, up-to-the-minute election information on the candidates running in local races. Just enter your address to get started. Your vote is your power, the power to decide who represents you in 2022 and beyond. Get online, get the facts, and make your voice heard on Election Day.
Moving forward.
Afternoon.
Good afternoon. Aloha, Jason. How are you today?
Hi. You're Kawika, right?
That I am.
Are we on? I just turned on KAKU and I heard Tony on, so I figured we're not live to air here. We're recording.
No, we are recording. It's pre-recorded in advance, and then you'll get placed online. And yeah, it'll come on. Actually, you're gonna be what? Let's see. You're 2 days out right now on the schedule because I do 3 a day, and then they come out once a day, a weekdays at 7 p.m.
And do you keep them up online so everyone can see them at some point? I hope.
Absolutely. They're available directly from Facebook because Facebook is plugged into Spotify, and I play on Spotify, so you can share them directly with your friends and constituents on Facebook. It can play straight through Instagram without an app. You can get it on iHeartRadio, through Clear Channel Radio. You can get it through Spotify, Amazon Music, iTunes, and Newsly.
I'm only guessing you have somewhere where what you just said is written down.
Absolutely. 10 times over. That's
or
right.
Or something sent. Nice to speak with you.
So,
okay.
Yeah. So let's go from the tippy top, Jason. For those who may or may not know you, please tell us who you are and what you're running for right now.
Sure. My name is Jason Schwartz, Schwartz. The only reason I spell it and tell you that, my given name is Jack. So on the ballot, if you see a Schwartz, vote for him, no matter where you see it. There's not too many here in Hawaii that are running. In fact, I'm the only. And I am living in Kahului. I've been in Maui since 1988. I was a large solar energy broker in California before that, selling solar water heating, got involved in cogeneration solar. Got a much longer story than just a few things. Came to Maui with a vision that this could be an example to the world of renewable energy technology, self-sustainability, blah, blah, blah. In 1991, I formed the Maui Arts and Music Association with that mission purpose. And people kind of recruited me and wanted me to run for politics. The Green Party was starting. 92, 94, 96, I ran for council. Actually, in 94, ran for mayor, but then switched mid-race to council because it was a tight mayoral race, and I didn't want to be a spoiler like a third-party candidate, take a few important votes.
It looks like you haven't set up any home to accept.
Excuse me, you there?
Yes, I'm still there.
My iPad was talking to me. In this day and age, everybody's talking from all sides. Alexa, Siri, my goodness.
My Alexa has interrupted many shows, actually.
Well, if people go to dreammaui.com and they wonder why is he using that as a name for a website? Because dreammaui.com, I started that website in 1993.
Oh, wow.
Many people,
birth of the internet right there.
When they go to the Maui Arts and Cultural Center, there's a guy that's sitting there in stone named Pandi Yokouchi. Many people know he's one of the inspirations for the starting of the Cultural Center. Mm-hmm. What they don't know, MauiArts.org is the Cultural Center. MauiArtsAndMusic.org is me. So once people dig into that Dream Maui site and they start looking, they're going to see hundreds and hundreds of interviews of politicians here on Maui, of all kinds of people on Maui, about visual art, healing art, music, culture, educating people about environmental solutions for a lot of the problems we see and hear now. You'll see an article written in 1995 about me in this. Well, the people that are in politics now, many of them the same faces we've seen even since then, I just haven't been listening. And after talking all these years, I felt it was really important for me to sit at the table, get a place there so that I don't have to keep asking. And I try to call the mayor. They give you his assistant. What is this about? I know Mike for 25 years. I can't speak to Mike Victorino or some of the other situations where they're just so busy, they haven't really taken an over-the-horizon look at Maui. And that's what I've been doing. And now I want to be there with an active and aggressive group to save our planet and save Maui. I've had this vision a long time. There's a lot more to it, but in a couple of minutes of introduction, that's how I would give you an opening. And of course, you're probably too young, Kawika, but do you remember a movie called Spaceballs?
Oh, yeah. And I'm just disappointed we never got Spaceballs 2, The Search for More Money.
Well, it might happen, but when you watch the movie Spaceballs, there's this funny thing called, it's a spinoff on Star Wars, and the Force be with you is the Schwartz.
Yes, absolutely.
And so I can't get away from it. So I also took the name. It goes to the same place. May the Schwartz be with you. .us. And that's for people that want to laugh. But I'm not a joking matter. I've been at this. This is in my blood. If people know that I'm green from my heart, and I've been active at everything without being taking sides against anyone. I even have a show here on Maui called The Neutral Zone, MauiNeutralZone.com. 100 shows plus. People look at that, they'll say, oh, that's who this guy is. I have somebody who came up to me and said, oh, you were my substitute teacher. I remember you. You're Jason Schwartz. Well, that was 1994 when I couldn't continue to substitute teach because I was running for mayor and the kids were starting to chant my name in the hallway. Mm-hmm. That was not good. Yeah. But the visions are still there. It's time to activate some of those visions. And again, if we have more time, sometimes I could talk. I'm happy to take questions, but I just wanted to give you a pretty full opening. I'm not somebody who's running who has no experience at this stuff, if you will.
Dig it. Well, I think that's plenty of exposition for now, and if you'd love to come back in the future, we can dig into more. But let's move forward into some light questions. And really, speaking of that horizon point of view that you were remarking on about Maui, like, what's the biggest thing on the horizon for you that you see?
I think the biggest thing on the horizon for me, for Maui, if you heard what I just said, you heard that my horizon was 30 years ago, and I saw the potential to lead the world. The world has gone down the toilet when it comes to environmental protections and actions towards solving the problems.
Yes.
That's biggest number one. Mm-hmm. So when you go into an Earth Day and the information tables are at the front, That is really where the show should be, because all the solutions, we have a lot of them, but people don't focus there.
Well,
and
they
that's
don't.
my to be able to lead an aggressive charge to an integrated use of things we already have here in our system and that are being built in these last couple of years by aware people, very aware, and implement solutions, problems for our water, our housing. There's lots of solutions, and they're right here already. But someone has to be listening, and investors who have money have to be recognizing their responsibility rather than waiting for a county. You know, everyone says, wait for the government to create these programs. When in fact, if the people create a program that can make sense, that the government can then support and make happen easier, that's how progress happens. So I don't know if that's one thing or everything. What my first priority is the environment for using all the resources we have more responsibly and better, more efficiently.
Do you have any light ways of explaining that to, more simpler listeners at home that may not get the conversation on conservancy and sustainability?
Well, first of all, everybody should get the idea about conserving and sustainability. But if they don't get that and they are a voter, they need to get hip with what's happening in the world. What it means is Maui has a place here. We've been building a tourism industry, and I have no problem about the tourism industry. They can carry the message to the whole world of what we do here. But if we don't do it, and that is all the things that make us an ideal community. I loved in this article in 1995 when it says, Jason's trying to bring a miracle to happen, to get solar energy to happen on Maui. And we're the leading solar in the world. Oh, I didn't do that, but I was way ahead of this charge. And so that's what I think the people need to hear, that we have solutions, easy solutions, buying food through hubs that are local, that can get food, dealing in different ways for housing. Lots of things could happen for homelessness and housing, and lots of little pieces that involve jobs and people getting them and creating them through systems that are not the traditional system. You know, people that want to keep their property tax low, but want all the services that government can provide. And all the people that don't own that, all the money coming from the government comes from something they're not even tapped in with. There's a whole lot of stuff. The simple voter can realize I'm experienced. And if I'm sitting at the table at the council, you'll recognize that I will vote the way you would vote if you have a heart and you care about this island and its people. If you're Hawaiian, you'll recognize that my notions are to elevate the culture and showcase it to the world and be able to create the kind of things that when you were growing up, you wish were already here. Well, we still can get that for our children and grandchildren if the planet doesn't die in the meantime. So let's be that example that people can duplicate. Let's do it through our actions. And that's what people will and should hear about me. I'm not interested in sitting on my heels. I'm interested in working with the council, both those there and out, and the mayor and the public, and bring up ideas that create excitement. And using visual art and healing art and music and education about the cultures to raise awareness and money to bring new technologies that we can implement here and showcase to the world on the backs of these people that come here for tourism, and the people that will plug into what we're doing that may never even step on Maui, but they'll bring revenues here to do these things. That's what the MauiArtsAndMusic.org website was originally planned. But Pundi had a stroke. Pundi, that guy on the statue, and changed the complexion of the years, because prejudice around here has been for a long time. And the Old Boy Network, they even have people running with the same name. I know a guy that died in 2017. His grandson's running now, and his nickname is the same as the granddad. You probably know that Old Boy Network.
No, I mean,
thing.
this is What I find in Hawaiian politics is it's a lot like being in the old South. You got these old these hokum routines of one guy who figured it out, and then he just hands the legacy down, and then for a while in that trade off window, nobody realizes who replaced who, and then there's an assumptive measure that comes with it. And so at first you may think that that person could be voting the same way as their grandparent or their senior or whoever it was that they replaced, or you just may think it's that same person because you just want to roll that right into their view, and all they see is those two words, that same name, and then they feel comfortable, and then they think they're voting for an incumbent.
Said, and many times, if you would remember and really realize what Grandpa was all about, number one, if his grandson is doing the same thing, he's old news already. Mm-hmm. And most people that are voting do it on name value and really don't do the deep dive. Imagine in my race, 7 people are running and the top 2 go on after August 13th. Mm-hmm. So I hope people do some digging. And if they dig, I think and hope they'll find me to be the best choice. That's the only way I'm looking at it. I want to make this a better place. And it is to the highest good that I'm running rather than not. And that's why I'm running. And if good things happen and I don't catch the seat, I want good things happening. The people there at the radio station and the TV station know I'm that broken record, the guy that's been doing independent interviews of politicians for 13 elections and is on a basis where I can get my opinions known by picking up the phone and making a call. And I have no prejudice. I am open to everybody. That's why I think I'm a good choice. Most people that know me, I hope they'll share about their experiences with me, both on the internet, which is an amazing friend for voters if they use it. But I don't wonder a little, I wonder a lot, how many of the people here that aren't on the internet are only relying on name value and signage and all that stuff, you know?
Well, we do have some extremely rural patches where I feel it's a lot of Rust Belt politics. You got to live on the radio a bit more than even the TV around, especially up country. You know, I mean, most of my neighbors, Haiku, Makawao area, like, you're lucky if they maybe watch like a piece of the news a week. And then half of them don't even go online the second that they leave the valley because no more cell service or shoddy, infrastructure for internet.
Well, and you hear me. That's why I say I'm a different candidate than the other ones. People see my picture, they go, "You were that guy. You were my teacher. You were here. You were talking about this stuff all the time. Mm-hmm. You've been talking to politics and telling all these politicians what you're thinking for 30 years here." Yes, that's what I know. These pockets like you're talking about country, the half of the time I was on TV and radio, up country didn't know because they didn't have the cable in, like you said. And those that listening have a rough life here. People are working hard. So the young people, boy, they know the internet to the point where you sit in restaurants and people don't talk. They're all on their own phones. But the older people, I'm hoping that having seen me all these years, they'll recognize that I'm a good choice and share that with the younger people because, like I say, I'm not an empty vessel. You're not seeing some guy who's retiring from these issues. This is the time for the full court press because the world needs good leadership and action right now. Otherwise, your grandchildren won't be living above the surface or be living in the coast of Makawao.
I know. There's a few dystopian models we could probably reference and ramble on for hours. I dig your point of view on the matter, sir.
Here on Maui, the local issues, a lot of them can be handled through things that already exist. And sadly, the profit motive by some of the companies drives the prices up and makes things crazy. You can't really, people think if thing is affordable that it must not be as good. Stupid things that are counterproductive. We can change that. Anyway, I better shut up and let you ask your question.
Right on, right on. Well, so for those that don't know you, for those that didn't get to see you in school, and for those on the opposite side of the island who might tune in once a week for something, just to know something, what's going on, how do we connect with you? How do we, smokesignal.com, what do you got? This is your point right here to tell us how to engage with you as a person, with your campaign, and how to support that.
Well, I've been saying it through the whole thing. The biggest, easiest way to find me is Dream Maui, easy words, dreammaui.com. And if you go to .org, you'll see more about the idea. If you go to Maui Neutral Zone, you'll see the last 4 years of interviews with solutions to some of the major problems on Maui. Interviews with all kinds of people with values to make this a better place. So dreammaui.com. But for those that just want to have fun with this, may the Schwartz be with you.us is an easy and fun way to find it. There's so much information there. You could spend days looking at all the things I've written and shown. My platform is there. You'll see it right on the front page of Maui Arts and Music, where I describe this plan that I just spoke about. It's all of us. It's not me. It's me like a conductor of an orchestra. It's us, the players, the people. A vision takes action. And that's why I called it Dream Makers Foundation, because it takes us. And may the Schwartz be with you. .us.
.us. All right. All right. Well, last question before I let you go. Can I hit you up again in about a month, see how things are going, and maybe we extrapolate on a little more?
Absolutely. I am always available. And in fact, as you're speaking to candidates, I like to call me the long form of interview. Mm-hmm. I do use with more casual, so we can see who candidates are as people. I like to throw the ball up and let them spike it in tennis, and then let the people see who and what these people are, what they really mean, past their first few words, what's under the surface. So I know I'm talking a lot. I guess you'd say that's why you should watch my shows. You'll see that I express my opinions for a long time, and it's time to be in a position to put them into better action.
Right on, bro. All right. Well, I think that's about all the time we have for this little segment, but can't wait to hear from you some more, and then maybe even get you on the full show for a much longer talk, because I think you and quite a few other candidates, I would love to get people in your counterpart position on other islands to be able to discuss openly on a dais, and I think that would be a great place to where we don't have any weird debate structures. We just be a little more free and open, try to find politicians across the land that can talk rather than just this little micro region. Yeah.
I mean, when I was doing it, I do an hour interview. Mm-hmm. Some of these people that come into these interviews, they have their little 5-minute speech, but I really give them a chance to, and you get to see who they are. I hope your format can do that. I'm going to back away some this election cycle because I'm a candidate, but I may do some interviews still. I very much appreciate the opportunity to be with you, Kawika, very much.
Mahalo nui, Jason, and absolutely look forward to learning more about you and sharing more of your campaign here with our listeners at Rabbit Holes. Mahalo.
You're welcome. Be well. Aloha.
Be well. Aloha. Rabbit Holes is a Manava Cow production. This episode was produced by Kawika Hoke and Sarah Rodriguez. Make sure to subscribe and follow on your favorite podcast platforms to add our weekly episodes to your queue.